For the last 30 days, I've been meditating with Dr. Joe Dispenza, and my intention of doing this 30-day challenge was to help my business. And ironically, today, on the very last day, it made me an extra $6,000. And on this video, I'm going to walk you through the entire 30-day stretch, what kind of challenges came up, what kind of successes came up, and I'm also going to share a story about how when I was meditating on top of a mountain in Sedona, a bumblebee actually landed on my finger, and why this actually was probably one of the most profound lessons of the entire process. What's up, guys? My name is Nico Rapkless. If you're new around here, we are big on helping people become the best version of themselves in their life and their business. So if you're down with that, make sure and subscribe. We're on a mission to helping over 20,000 people become magnetic manifestors using the Woo and Do framework. We also have a brand new Skool Community that has a little over 800 members. So if you'd like to be a part of that, we'd love to have you. So let's dive into this. What exactly happened? Why did we start this? Well, the reason that I started this challenge that I launched inside of our Skool Community, and that was all the details in there, is because the last time that I got into the Joe Dispenza meditations deeply, it significantly helped me. I was going through a real rough patch. I had just tore my pectoral tendon, went through my spiritual awakening, and was just kind of lost and wasn't sure what my direction was, and knowing that something was going on internally that I really want to dive in deeper in. So I decided to dive deep into Dr. Joe's meditations, and it profoundly helped my life. It helped me launch a business that was a YouTube ads agency back in the day. I don't do that currently anymore, but I started applying all the stuff I'm going to be teaching you on this video and why we actually applied the 30-day challenge and all the amazing people that contributed to this particular challenge and what they got out of it. In fact, we even had another student that we implemented some stuff, and she closed a 3K deal the day after she started implementing it. And we've had other members that just started to attract more money, feeling better, feeling more present, more grounded, some of the best experiences of their life. So coming back to my story is that it profoundly shifted me. And it's interesting because, until you get away from meditation for a while, you can't really see the effects, right? But then once it does, it all of a sudden kind of piles on top of you and you're realizing, oh my gosh, I can just feel a nervousness within me, more anxiety, more stress. And then once you get on a 7-day challenge, a 14-day challenge, a 21-day challenge, a 30-day challenge, that's when things really start to shift. And that's what I was really noticing in myself. Week 1 went incredibly well. I was in Colorado. Week 2, I got back here in Arizona, and I like to meditate on the roof in the morning. Week 3 was also a bit of a challenge. It really was. I felt like I was starting to hit some limits, and I just didn't really want to meditate as much. But because of the fact that I've been doing it for 2 weeks straight, a lot of things have been benefiting, because we always talk about how we're living in a delayed mirror, and the things that you do today affect everything that goes on tomorrow, the next week, the next month. Right? So that's why these type of challenges are really profound and really powerful, is because when you stay consistent with certain actions, especially meditation, which is kind of like one of those things that's kind of a slow moving type of transformation. I think about it as a really slow moving wave, and you're only going to tell the difference 30 days down the road. And so when you start to really feel that's when it all kind of starts coming into fruition. And yes, my intention of this particular challenge also was that I wanted to help elevate my business and increase my business. And like I mentioned earlier in this video, is that ironically, on the very last day, we signed another client for our Vision Accelerator program to help them not only remove subconscious blocks and clarify their vision and build out a system to make sure they're staying consistent with that, but also help them build their authentic brand so that they can really start catapulting their life and their business. It was kind of wild how that happened on day 30. So obviously business has helped out quite a bit by just going through the meditations. Now, again, we always talk about the woo and the do. So this Joe Dispenza meditation for 30 days is definitely more on the woo side of things. that's why we then incorporate as well is showing people how to build their authentic brand offline as well on social media, because it's very scalable. And so that's a big piece of our entire message, and that's what we share a lot inside of our magnetic manifesting school community. It's not just woo-woo, sit around and meditate all day and do nothing else. It's sit around and woo-woo, meditate, and take the action, build your brand, generate leads, do the marketing, put together your offers so that you actually can build your business. Because if you really want to grow as an individual, I truly believe it's not just internally. Okay, that's a big part of it. It's the foundation of everything, but it's not the only thing, because I have experienced both sides of it, right? I used to, as mentioned in my story, is that I had a YouTube ads agency. I also ran Instagram ads. I ran Facebook ads. I had an Instagram growth agency. I've done a lot of affiliate marketing today. I've worked with other agencies. We've scaled past $1 million months in terms of ad spend with some of the most household name brands. So I have a lot of experience in that marketing world. But what's interesting is that if you just simply go and do marketing or whatever your thing is, whatever your skill is, and you just keep on going and grinding, eventually it'll get burnt out. At least that is what happened with me, because I had no spiritual practice. So then what happened, I burned out completely, just got overwhelmed, and then I just imploded, so to speak. And that's when things shifted, and I wanted to make sure and go, figure out what was next. And that's when I had my spiritual awakening. That's when I tore my pectoral tendon. And that's when everything shifted. And I really dove into the Dr. Joe Dispenza's meditations, and I read his book, Becoming Supernatural. I probably read that 4, 5, 6 times at this point, and really understood it and really started incorporating a lot of the meditations. And for the people that are always asking, the meditation that we stuck with for this particular challenge is the blessing of the energy centers. And it's really powerful from my perspective, because it's basically a body scan. And it's going all the way from the top all the way down to the bottom, and just putting that focus and attention on your body. And it just helps me significantly, instead of just sitting there and just thinking or just trying to be. It kind of gives me a little bit of a task to do and just be more aware of my body and the energy that it's experiencing. And so the reason I also want to share this and why I want to do this is because at the end of the day, we are all energy. Okay, we're all energy, which is interesting because you look at these markers and you're like, how is this just energy? This looks like matter, right? My finger can't go through it, and you're saying it's energy. So it's always been a wild concept to me, and I'm just like, how does this actually work? What do you mean that this is energy and not matter? But once you really break it down and understand it, and the way Dr. Joe explains it inside of his videos and inside of his books, it really makes a lot of sense. And then from there, it's like we are attracting equal frequencies. So if our frequency is up here, then we're going to attract other things that are up here, right? And what I will always say is that higher frequencies attract higher abundance. Lower frequency attracts lower abundance, if you will. It attracts more scarcity, more lack, more fear. And for me, I know how powerful it is to get on a higher frequency, because then it attracts a lot of stuff. I mean, back when I did it, back in the day when we did this 30-day, essentially a 30-day challenge, wasn't exactly I didn't claim it was going to be a challenge, but I really got committed for a good period of time after I tore my pectoral tendon. And then that's when I started attracting dream clients, because that was the frequency that I got on. Okay, when you get on that frequency, that you're just attracting more abundance. The same thing happened. I started attracting dream client after dream client after dream client after dream client, paid in full, paid in full, paid in full. It was just wild how that all happened. And so that was my intention going into this. And I was like, I want to experience that again. I want to elevate my business. I want to continue to expand our school community. I want to expand my YouTube channel. I want to expand my Instagram, and all that stuff has been growing. We've been getting on more sales calls. We've been getting more engagement. We've been getting more traction, more views. We've been getting clients now. I've been getting on lots of calls and people, and it's just like our pipeline is built massively now. I won't say massively, but it's starting to build. I think exaggeration is always kind of wild on the internet, so I don't mean to be exaggerating. But from where we were when we started this, I'm getting book calls every single day. They're just popping on my calendar now. It's really, really cool. And again, this isn't not just because of the fact that I meditated for 30 days straight, but it's a big piece of it because I was still doing business stuff before, and then I just added this little hint, this little sauce to the mix, and then things started fortaken. They started getting better. And obviously I'm working on my business consistently, and we're optimizing our messaging and our offer and our personal brand and everything, and generating more leads and doing that whole thing. So that's why we teach that aspect of it in the Woo and Do framework, is because if you're missing out on your personal brand, it's harder, right? And that's why we always say, and I've built out my personal brand for years, right? And you know, in years past, it was a different message. A lot of my personal branding before was all about marketing. It was all about YouTube ads, or it was all about Instagram growth, or it was all about, you know, affiliate marketing. Now it's transferred more into this Woo and Do framework, so that you can actually experience both. It's not just one or the other, where you get completely burnt out of doing your business, but it's also not just meditating all day long and only doing that and just getting bored and content, if you will. But when you marry the two, that's when you can have a really powerful experience of life and business. And I really believe that it's the pinnacle. And so that's what we teach inside of our accelerator program. That's why people get such great results, is because of the fact that it's not just Woo, it's not just Do, it's incorporating both. But I truly believe that it starts with a strong foundation, and that it comes from a strong meditative practice where you're getting calm, you're regulating your nervous system. Because no matter what you do, if you don't have a regulated nervous system and your energy is not at a calm, peaceful state, you're going to just attract more of whatever you are vibrating, right? But when you elevate your vibration and then you elevate your personal brand, it's powerful, right? You do it in conjunction. But if you are, you know, at a low frequency, and then you're just taking a bunch of action and you're doing your marketing, your personal brand, people are going to feel that. Because at the end of the day, what a personal brand is it's building and nurturing relationships. And if you do it online, you can scale that, because business and life is really just a culmination of building relationships. And this basically just helps everything in your business. When you have a calm nervous system, you're regulated, you're grounded, and you are scaling your relationship building, it just elevates everything. Your ads work better, your emails convert better, your relationships are better, people recognize you, you're more likely to get on podcasts and go speak on stages. I mean, that's exactly what happened to me, right? I started building my personal brand, and then all of a sudden, like, people knew me a little bit more. The conversations were different. They would say, like, wow, like they know so much about me. And one of the stories that I wanted to share as well, in addition to the Bumblebee story, is that my roommate actually, he had a really powerful story. A guy he's been following for years. And he set this intention. And so this perfectly combines the Woo and the Do framework. Okay, he set the intention that he wanted to get in this guy's energy. He wanted to be taught by him, right? And he's a guy that has hundreds of thousands of followers and generated millions and millions of dollars, and one of the most reputable guys in the entire space, right? And no one ever gets to talk to him, like, personally, like one-on-one. He's like just that guy that has like a huge following, and very few people get that like one-on-one access to him. Yet my roommate was talking about how he wanted to like be in his energy and like really attract that in without even realizing it, because he's not really a woo-woo guy whatsoever. And so what was interesting about that is that he would watch his YouTube videos, he would listen to his podcast, and he would just like keep on saying that. And then interestingly enough is he comes in my room the other night, and he's like showing me that he was on a call with this guy, right? And it's crazy, because one of the pieces of advice that I got from this guy, just, you know, watching his videos, he said, you want to meditate and you want to socialize. I was like, that's a two combination. Because let's talk about this real quick. You want to meditate because you want to have a very calm nervous system, right? From there, you want to socialize because that helps you build relationships, because relationships are a cornerstone of living life and growing a business and just becoming the person that you want to be. You can't do it alone. We're social creatures. But what's interesting about that is, because what he's saying is you want to go out and socialize and build relationships. But again, what we talk about, a personal brand is really about building relationships at scale. You're just utilizing different modalities, offline and online, to build those relationships. And what's interesting enough is that, like, my roommate had been building a relationship with this guy for years. unbeknownst to him, because he was building his personal brand while meditating and attracting higher vibrational people in and lots of money. And then therefore my roommate, all of a sudden set that intention, got very clear on that. And then all of a sudden, somehow he's like bopping around on Instagram. And then this guy's like, hey, hit me up real quick. And they got on a call. And then ends up happening is my roommate's actually going to an event. And this guy actually offered for him to stay at his house. It's crazy, right? And you can't make this stuff up, but it's that combination of having more of the woo, having a little bit more of the do, and combining those two, having a calm nervous system, regulating, but also building relationships at scale. And just think like this, my roommate was so enamored and so excited to get on a call with this guy, and then ended up buying one of his event packages, right? And he was excited about it. He was excited about it, and he was like overblown by it. He's like, wow, this is so amazing. This guy was building a personal brand. He was a very meditative, calm, grounded state, and then he's also building his personal brand so that when he gets on calls with people, people are enamored by him and want to just, they'll buy whatever they're selling, right? And that's the power of building a personal brand. But a personal brand is really built on the person, right? So if you don't know you, if you don't know who you are, you don't know your vision, you're not clear on that, it's going to be really challenging to build a personal brand. And that's why I really like to harp on this stuff. It's about building yourself up first, and then you can start extending the relationship building, because then once you have a calm nervous system and your frequency is higher, you become magnetic, and then it's just a matter of getting in front of more people. So it's a really, really powerful concept. Now I want to finish this video off with the story about the bumblebee. I was up in Sedona meditating on top of Boynton Canyon. One of the first times I've been up there at that particular mountain. I've been in a lot of other places. I usually go to Sedona once a month. And so this was really powerful to do some meditating on top of the mountain. And I'm sitting there and I'm meditating. It's just beautiful. We have a really powerful audio inside of our accelerator course as well that we give to clients called an inner circle audio. And it's actually a bunch of your friends and your family sharing all this gratitude and belief and love with you. And I was listening to mine, and I was sitting there and I was just experiencing it. It was like hitting hard, like just I'm very emotional and crying, and I'm sitting there and all of a sudden I feel something on my finger. Right? I feel it on my finger. It's kind of, I couldn't even tell what it was, but I opened my eyes and I was like, oh damn, that's a bee. And it was interesting because I've had this experience when I was a lot younger where I actually got stung by, a whole like swarm of bees, probably 20 plus. It was a really kind of traumatizing experience. And, I wouldn't say that I love bees by any means, but I just sat there and this was a completely different experience. And I looked at it and I was like, wow, this bee, it just kind of like wants to chill with me. I could feel it. And it's like, that's the power of having a meditative practice. That is the power of getting a calm nervous system and grounded, right? And he just chilled with me right there. And he just chilled for a little bit. And then eventually I was like, okay, you also do have a stinger, so I think I'll let you be on your way, man. And he kept coming back. He's like, I just want to chill with you. That's how I perceived it anyways. But it was a really cool experience. And so that experience combined with generating another really ideal client, with the business starting to grow and get a lot more traction, our school groups getting a lot more traction, I feel like I'm getting more grounded and centered. Obviously, I always have ways to go and want to continue to refine this. And that's what we're also going to do now is we're going to set our new challenge, and we're going to launch this inside of our Skool community. So if you want to be updated when our new challenge launches, we will definitely update you on that inside of the Skool group. We have over, like I said, 800 people at this time of these amazing magnetic entrepreneur manifestors in there, and we go live every single week. So we'd love to have you in if that feels aligned to you. But the moral of the story is that like there's a lot of power in meditating and doing it for prolonged periods of time, as opposed to just thinking like, oh, I'll meditate here and there, right? It's a really powerful practice when you make it an actual practice. So that's the gist, guys. I truly appreciate your time. Thank you for sitting with me and having some good relationship building. And essentially I'm making these videos, and the more that you listen and watch them, like we're building a relationship. You're getting to know me more, and eventually, like when you get in our Skool community, I'll get to know you more, and then if you eventually become a client, we'll get to know you even more. And so that's just kind of the beauty of how building a brand works, as long as you are in a grounded state. So many people, calls I got on over the last couple of weeks, people were just saying, like, there's something about you that's just like, I can feel your energy. It's magnetizing, and that's exactly what it's all about. So when you combine the woo with the do, it's a powerful approach. So we'd love to have you in anything, whether that's future videos. So make sure and subscribe, because we're on this mission to helping over 20,000 people become magnetic manifestors, whether it's inside of our Skool community or our accelerator program. And if you want to learn more about that, we've got a video down in the video description, and that's about it. So thank you for watching this video. Truly appreciate your time, and we will see you on the next video. And then also, if you have not watched any of the other previous Joe Dispenza videos, I strongly recommend you can watch it right here. Appreciate y'all. Talk to you soon.